as it relates to all of these people, Roman, Schaefer, Cheely, Meadows, Trump, Latham, Giuliani, Clark, and Floyd, Supreme Court now denying the petition for cert from Fani. Well, really, should get the case filed and say, holy crap, this thing is completely rigged. This is an abuse of power. And they dismiss the charges against all the people and then indict Fani.
It's great. The court just ruled that she is a disaster. She's a disaster with a boyfriend. The boyfriend that she paid $1 billion for his expertise, but he never did it before.
Fani Willis loses the big one. She wanted to stay on this case, prosecuting President Trump and the other RICO indictees, and now that's not gonna happen. Fani Willis blown out. Now, what happened here, of course, is she wanted to take this to the Supreme Court of Georgia and has now lost. Here's what we've got, courtesy of Jeff Clark, a man who was put through the ringer in this case. He posted this. He's now working with Trump again. Says, I'm pleased to announce that Big Fani has been permanently disqualified from prosecuting the indictment that she brought against President Trump, me, and many others, some of whom took plea deals. The Georgia Supreme Court denied cert to Fani, who was attempting to get that court to take her case so that she could try to get undisqualified after the Georgia Court of Appeals threw her off the case. And we remember Judge McAfee, who was just ridiculous, said that Fani could stay on the case as long as Nathan Wade left. And so he resigned like this. He's like, yeah, I'm out, man. I'm going to take my 700 G's and I'm going to go get a new car, which he did. So all of that was allowed to continue. Then the appeals court came down and said, no. Fani, you have a very odor of mendacity, very stinky odor, and you now have to be removed as well. So then she appealed that to the Supreme Court. They're saying, we don't want to hear your case. The Court of Appeals was right. Get off. So the case now goes to the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia, and they're going to decide on a replacement for Big Fani. So it's going to go, some other prosecutor is going to have to pick this up and go with it. I'm not sure that's going to happen. Praise the Lord for progress in this case. It should have never been brought in the first place. No, of course not. It was part of a RICO of Democrat politicians abusing their offices to go and weaponize them against Trump. And you can see it on full display with Fani's case, Letitia's case, Alvin Bragg's case. The list goes on and on. You know the remainder of them. So the Supreme Court came, and as it relates to all of these people, Roman, Schaefer, Cheely, Meadows, Trump, Latham, Giuliani, Clark, and Floyd, Supreme Court now denying the petition for cert from Fani. All justices concur except a couple, and the case goes nowhere from here. So Fani's office responded to this, says the Georgia Supreme Court on Tuesday declined to review Fani's case, denying the petition. Some people, the Chief Justice and another one, did not participate. The decision means the lower court decision remains in place, which disqualifies Big Fani. She said in a statement, Fani, that she's going to transfer the case now, which would be to the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia. Fani's office said, well, I disagree with the decision of the Georgia Court of Appeals and the Georgia Supreme Court's divided decision not to review it. I respect the legal process and the courts. And so accordingly, my office will make the case file and evidence available to the Prosecuting Attorneys Council for use in ongoing litigation. I hope that whoever is assigned to handle this case will have the courage to do it, what the evidence and the law demand. Well, really, should get the case filed and say, holy crap, this thing is completely rigged. This is an abuse of power. And they dismiss the charges against all the people and then indict Fani. That would be the right way to approach this. But that appellate decision overturned McAfee, who said Nathan Wade had to get thrown off. Georgia Court of Appeals reversed McAfee. They said, yeah, the remedy that was crafted by the trial court, McAfee, to prevent the ongoing appearance of impropriety did nothing to address the appearance of impropriety that existed at times when Fani was exercising her broad pretrial discretion about who to prosecute and what charges to bring. Like the fact that moving forward it's not going to be bad doesn't mean that up until this point it wasn't bad, Judge. While recognizing what an appearance of propriety generally is not enough to support disqualification, this is the rare case in which disqualification is mandated, okay? No other remedy will suffice to restore public trust to Fani's office. And this is good news for everybody. Steve Sadow over on Trump's team responded to this, and here's what he said. Here's a comment by me as Trump's lead Georgia defense counsel saying, the Georgia Supreme Court has correctly denied review of the Georgia Court of Appeals decision disqualifying Big Fani and her office as prosecutors in the Fulton County RICO case. Willis's misconduct during the investigation and prosecution of President Trump was egregious, and she deserved nothing less than disqualification and probably jail. This proper decision should bring an end to the wrongful political lawfare persecutions of the president. And yeah, I mean, the 4 criminal cases are now done. Like, this is the end of that. I mean, this could get picked back up by another prosecutor out, who's going to be on that council, but we'll see if they do. I think that a lot of people people will just say this is way too big of a case to bite into. And this is a nice justification to just, oh, we don't want it. We don't want it. Nobody wants it. And the thing just peters out. But Fani is off the case. And of course, she was the real driving force behind it. And we got questions about her and her collusion with the January 6th Select Committee and whether they were conspiring to create and manufacture charges where there shouldn't have been charges brought, abusing her office doing so. President Trump calling out Fani saying she should be prosecuted.
It's great. The court just ruled that she is a disaster. She's a disaster with a boyfriend. The boyfriend that she paid $1 billion for his expertise, but he never did it before. Now she should be prosecuted. What she did to people, forget about me. What Fani Willis did to innocent people, patriots that love our country, what she did to them by indicting them and destroying them, she should be put in jail. She's a criminal. Fani Willis is a criminal.
That's true. True statement. Thank you, Mr. President. We'll see if any inquiry continues. We know there's going to be a new J6 committee forming. We've got questions about what the old J6 committee did to conspire with Fani and a bunch of other people to try to take out President Trump and an entire political party. So we'll keep our eye on this one to see if any new charges come down the pike. Maybe Fani, since she loves RICO so much, will enjoy her time as a defendant